a coffee cup on my nightstand. Not to reminisce, just a reminder to never go back to a life we shared. Anytime I'm feeling the urge to look at a picture, how I get so confused. 'Cause I swear I am so over you. My mommy told me that we shouldn't worry. Daddy told me just a good story. He said to move on and keep going. Imagine we had one more life and we're shot at sunrise. Erase everything, start with new eyes. Don't break the same tragic goodbyes. What if they fly?
It starts with a feeling of overwhelming doubt and shame. It moves to completely seep into my bones and veins.
I remember seeing you last fall. It was hard to recognize you at all. It took away the art of talking touch. I know you think that I'm ready more. Now that I will and that I should be lost. But the breaking news wasn't that we're over. That we finally took the mask off. My mommy told me that we shouldn't worry. Daddy told me just a good story. He said to move on and keep going. Imagine we had one more life and we're shot at sunrise. Erase everything, start with new eyes. Don't break the same tragic goodbyes. What if they fly? A coffee cup on my nightstand. Not to reminisce, just a reminder to never go back to a life we shared. Anytime I'm feeling the urge to look at a picture, how I get so confused. 'Cause I swear I am so over you. My mommy told me that we shouldn't worry. Daddy told me just a good story. He said to move on and keep going. Imagine we had one more life and we're shot at sunrise. Erase everything, start with new eyes. No more practicing tragic goodbyes. What if this way?
It starts with a feeling of overwhelming doubt and shame. It moves to completely seep into my bones and veins.
One, two, coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up.
Told me just a good story. He said to move on and keep going. Imagine we had one more life and we're shot at sunrise. Erase everything, start with new eyes. No more practicing tragic goodbyes. What if this way? Things start with
It's January 12th, 2023, and you're listening to episode 318 of PHP Ugly. We are a weekly podcast that talks about a lot about the PHP programming language, some web technology, some just technology, whatever strikes our fancy at the time. We have a sponsor, honeybadger.io is sponsoring the show today, so we appreciate that, and we'll talk about them a little bit more later. We have Patreons on Patreon who also help support this show. They make the show a little better, allow us to upgrade our mics every now and then. So we really appreciate them. And of course, we have our friends in Discord. And if you'd like to be part of the group in Discord, you can do that at discord.phpugly.com. They hang out with us all show. They actually give us content, and we all hang out all week long and just kind of keep the party going. I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me tonight is John Congdon.
Speaking of Discord, I go to fire it up, and you have to update. I'm like, let me in.
I feel we're running a little late today, John.
About a third late. Third later? Something like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tom had to bail on the last minute, bail on us, which is fine. That happens from time to time. Life is crazy and kind of gets in the way of fun things we do, like podcasting. So we hope everything's going fine with Tom, and we will march on without him.
So Buttery is asking if I'm slouching, and I'm sitting up straight. There's something off. My camera's probably not right.
I might be. I need to work on my camera. I think I need to pull my camera out a little bit because I brought it in tight, and I think I brought it in too tight. Like, you're perfect. Yeah. You got the nice oval head though. Mine is I don't know, oblong. I got an oblong head, so it's kind of hard to fit it all in one scene. I got a big head.
And now I want to know what a Dutch angle is. See,
let's not Google that.
Discord provides content for the show. I like that you got called out on Zencastr too.
I got called out on Zencastr?
Remember to turn on Zencastr, Shokum.
You see, they got our back. That's actually why we went from here back to the little starting soon scene, because John's like, Zencastr!
Actually, no, I was like, the thing that I can't remember the name of it. Is that one thing.
Yeah, we've made that mistake one too many times. I've made that mistake one too many times. That's how it goes. Man, oh man, what a week, man. What a week.
Good and bad?
Sure. You want to talk about yours?
No, I want to hear about yours first. I always go first.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, my week, there's so many things I want to talk about that I think is going to lead into show topics a little bit. But, well, let me start with today, man. I spent, and you were part of this for a little while. I spent a couple of hours pair programming with Frank on a client project that initially he was very focused on the fact that there was this Livewire issue. And I wasn't so confident it was a Livewire issue, but it was very weird. One of the errors we were getting back, so we were looking in the inspector on the browser, and one of the errors we were getting back was a 404, but then it said, what did it say? Origin not allowed or something?
It was a CORS issue, is what was being reported.
Right, which I didn't know CORS issues fired a 404. That seems misleading to me.
Right, that's why when she pulled me in there and I saw that, I'm like, it feels like we're going down the wrong road here. We're focusing on the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I had to bail.
Think we were. Yeah, I totally think we were. So without getting into a lot of details, because it's a huge project, there's a lot of components to the project. And this is a project where we introduced the Laravel framework as a subset of the code base that already existed. So this is a hybrid application where it has this very old legacy code, and then we've been creating new things in this Laravel kind of subset code base. And when I say subset, I'm not implying that Laravel is dialed back or anything. It's a full Laravel installed. It's just installed inside the legacy code base. It's worked very well for us for a few years now, and it's allowed us to start to slowly have a march to more modern application. The tricky thing about it is how routing gets handled. So the legacy app was there for years and years and years. And then we introduced the Laravel. So the thing, I've got to stop saying so. Every time I say so, John, yell at me. The thing that happens is a request comes in, and I think you actually set this up, John. Does it see if that request is servable by the legacy code, and if not, then goes to the Laravel, or is it the other way around?
I don't remember how we set that up.
Yeah,
I think it's if it's servable by Laravel, it's served. Otherwise, it falls back to the legacy.
I'm suspecting it's the other way around, and I'm going to explain to you why. The 404 that we were getting came about because Frank was introducing a Livewire component into this piece of this Laravel blade that we had. When you brought the site up, when you brought the page up, the component loaded just fine. Everything that needed to be there was there. We knew for sure that the component was loading. But when you try to do something inside the component, it was breaking. And we went around and around on this, and John jumped in there. They started Xdebug, with diving into like the Laravel, the Livewire the heart of the Livewire code base, just kind of like following the path. The one thing I missed, and I think you missed as well, John, and I didn't notice it until the very end when Frank happened to mention something and highlighted it. The main page that this was on was a legacy app page because you could see the legacy path.
Mhm.
My suspicion is that when it first fired, since it was a PHP request and everything coming in correctly, it understood. It said, "Okay, this is a Livewire component. Load the Livewire component." But the subsequent request from Livewire, I think that main kind of router that we had, or middleware, or whatever you want to call it, couldn't figure out, oh, this needs to go to Laravel as well. It just said, okay, this request came in. I don't know what to do with this one. It was just puking it out.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like this required feature. As a matter of fact, it was really Frank being proactive and just trying to modernize pieces of the code base that needed to be modernized. So I had told him, listen, just shelf this branch for now. I hadn't figured that out yet. I hadn't figured that was something I came around to a little later. And I told him, just shelf this branch for now, and we'll get back to it and try to do some troubleshooting. And I actually have another idea that I shared in Slack.
That's why I was going. I was getting pretty heated on the call. I kept hearing it just routes to the component. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me. I need to know how this request gets to Livewire. It's got to be routed somewhere somehow. And I just kept being told it routes to the component. And it was just like, this is too much.
that is like the Livewire magic. Once the component loads, it's supposed to be like, it's self-aware, and it understands how to call back to its code. there's the point we were trying to make, and I think was kind of being lost, is when you create a Livewire component, like you don't create routes to it. Once you create a Livewire component, Livewire handles all that routing for you. If it wasn't being made very clear, but Frank didn't go into any routes file and says, okay, I need to use this Livewire component. That doesn't happen. We had done that for some testing, but normally you don't have to do that.
It wasn't so much the route, like how is it routed? I just wanted to know where the code ended up. When you call that route, like it's got to go somewhere to do something. If it's supposed to update a table or a column somewhere, you have to tell it, update this column. So I just wanted to know, where does the request ultimately end up? And that's where it just, we never got there. Like I understood the render. When you want to see it, render was being called, but what happens on that post? Where does the post go to? Was it the update? Was it the update function that was in there?
No, it was, I forgot, track. I think Frank called it, there was a track function. So if you looked in the this was a select, he adds the model, it's Livewire model, I think it's what it was, and then you put the method in there. So he had track in there. So I guess that what was being lost with
right. That's all I kept trying to get to, is where does it end up? How does it?
Mm-hmm.
Granted, the routing might be magic, which okay, the routing is magic, but it still has to go to code we write, and that's where everyone kept saying it gets routed to the component, and I'm like, will you stop saying component? Please stop saying
component,
and tell me where we do the work at. The work's got to be done.
And that's part of the problem. It's like this was such a minor thing that they were doing that there was like no logic yet. We hadn't made any logic because Frank couldn't get it to talk. Once the component loaded, he couldn't get it to talk to the component again. So the way we ended up,
maybe there wasn't a track method in there. If he was routing it to something called track and it wasn't there, that's why you're getting a 404.
No, it was there. I checked that. So the way we ended up troubleshooting this was we just created a straight up select Livewire component, a blank blade template that loaded it, and we created a route to the blade template. It worked just fine. Then we brought it down into another group, so we have our routes grouped. Brought it down to another group, worked fine. Brought it down to another group, and essentially got to where Frank was saying this is where that should be happening, which is like the off. It was like off middle in the middleware and off and all this. I'm like, okay, we got it there and it worked. I'm like, all right, something's not right. And then we were like, okay, let's take this very simple blade template we have and now load the layout over top of it, the client's layout, and that's what broke. But it was at that point. So it had something to do with the client layout that got loaded, and it was at that point I might have said, I don't see this path in here. Where's the path? He goes, well, the page is actually the legacy code, and he showed me the URL. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't notice that this whole time. Not that it would have changed a lot of the troubleshooting, but I would have been a lot more suspicious about what the problem was. And so yeah, I'm pretty sure it has something in the main layout that we loaded has a lot of legacy, not only PHP stuff in it, but JavaScript. There's a lot of JavaScript stuff in there. So
and it doesn't go through the Laravel kernel to get anything else it might need.
Right. So I don't know, man. I think that might be the problem. It is a issue we need to resolve, because ideally I would like to be able to add these components to legacy pages. But
that was the whole point of putting Laravel in there, was to then move the page from the old way of doing it into Laravel.
Right.
So we just need to probably do that to make this work.
Yeah.
Now I have an answer to your routing question. And this, again, being a legacy site, it didn't have a front controller. So not everything went through index.php. Everything goes to login.php or logout.php.
Right.
So it's using the traditional, if the file doesn't exist, now we're going to route to Laravel. And then
Right.
let Laravel do the 404 part of it.
Okay. That means that I still feel like that should have almost worked. It must be something with the JavaScript routing, the way the JavaScript's getting handled. But yeah, that's what that's how I remembered it. That it tries to serve up the legacy code base first, and then if the legacy code base isn't there, then it tries to serve it up from Laravel.
Mm-hmm. Which is exactly what was happening. I mean, we were getting into the Laravel portion.
Yeah, and it's Bucky. Yes, we were balls deep in Xdebug today.
Yep, we are Xdebug fans. Been using it for years, and definitely broke that out.
So,
but when you get into one of those working sessions, you're like step into, step over, step into. Just set a breakpoint here and try again. Like you went too far. You didn't get where I wanted to go.
Yeah, that was fun. So that's fun. Doing a lot of stuff with our client. A lot of housekeeping, like a lot of start of the year housekeeping where they want to see what our server kind of uptime was last year, and we're getting a bunch of audits done, and there's just a lot that happens at the beginning of the year. So I feel like I've spent so much time on Slack with our client, like more than I have in a very long time, and it's just a lot of back and forth. Then on top of all that, started working on a new project, which is kind of fun, kind of nerve-wracking because it's like accounting. So I'm like, man, I don't want to calculate numbers wrong. I feel like that could be bad here.
I'm excited about that one, and I really like the suggestions you had around it. I went so far the wrong way of worrying about the admin side of it, and you're like, no, we're just gonna hard code the numbers for now, and then we'll back into that. I'm like, that's probably the right way to do this.
And before everybody starts giving me a hard time, we're taking that approach because the numbers are already hard coded. They're just hard coded in the accounting spreadsheets and stuff.
In Excel, yeah.
Yeah. So they're not accustomed to being able to change these numbers like it. Well, I guess the accounting team is. Either way, we're just going to hard code them for now. And like John mentioned, we're going to back into a administrative front end for them. It's going to be this is going to be huge if we get it to work the way the client wants it to work. It's going to eliminate such a workload off their accounting team. I feel like this could be I feel like this could be a big one for them. I mean, the other project we were working on isn't abandoned. You know, we did a bunch of like load testing and stuff, and the client seemed very happy with what the numbers we provided with the load testing. So that's kind of there, and it's kind of like, okay, what's next step here? And you know, there's some marketing stuff that needs to happen and all that other stuff. But yeah, lots of things happening.
That accounting project is one that we've started a couple times in the past, but the project manager at the time like didn't know exactly what they wanted, and they wanted the world. And it's like, can we start with, you know, a town and then build up a whole world?
Right.
And no, we need the world. And I was like, you realize that's way harder. So the new project manager is like, no, I want like a car, not a town.
Just build this shed for now. Then we'll build the house. Then we'll build the block. Yeah.
Lazy Me 114 over in Discord is asking, what color scheme you use in PHP Storm? Is it light or dark theme?
I'm a dark theme person. I've been
I
dark theme for a while.
I was too for a long time, and I think I somehow switched back to dark without realizing it at some point. But I
Mhm.
watched Brent's from Stitcher.io. He did a whole video on why light theme is actually better. So I switched to light theme for a long time.
Mhm.
I don't know. I still think I
You're
prefer the
still on the
dark
fence?
theme.
Well,
Yeah,
do you remember what some of the arguments were for the light theme?
he had a bunch of where it's better on your eyes and a bunch of things, but I don't remember exactly. It was just like, this kind of makes sense. Let me try it. And like I said, at some point I upgraded or did something. It's back to dark theme, and I'm still there now.
You're just okay with it. So I was like,
So
yeah,
like,
you know what?
but speaking, I think you have a card on this later. We'll get
No,
back to that.
it's just you and I, man. Let's go ahead and go with it. What is it?
Well, nah, uh, the new PHP Storm UI.
Right.
Um, I upgraded and switched over to the new UI, and it's a lot cleaner for the most part. But there's a few things that are just driving me bonkers. And it's like the spacing, like it adds spacing between certain types of lines where it thinks, it would be better with that space, and I just can't figure out how to change that, or if I end up liking it.
Oh man, you need to show me that. I have not noticed that. I have not noticed that.
If I,
It's
I'll,
just a spacing thing.
yeah, I'll try and find that.
Yeah, it's for the most part, I like it. And to get back to dark theme, light theme conversation, I realize a lot of people are dark theme people now, and I think that's kind of become the standard. I think I've always been a dark theme person because I spent so much time in the terminal, and my terminal I just had a black terminal. I was like, well, for years I was the Matrix guy, right? I had the black terminal with the green letters. I don't do the green letters anymore, but my terminals have always been black. I don't mess around with my terminal colors. I know there are light theme colored terminals and stuff, but my terminal has always been black. So I just feel more comfortable. But I got a better question for Discord. I know John's answer, and John, feel free to share it if you'd like. This is a little bit more fringe. Do you prefer to have your file structure on your left-hand side or your right-hand side? Because I'm a right-hand side person, and I will give you the argument why. For me, I don't know why this doesn't bother anybody else, but well, part of it is I close my Explorer unless unless I'm looking for something. I'll close the Explorer. So typically my Explorer isn't open anyways. But when I
Mhm.
do open it, I hate the fact that all my code shifts over because the Explorer just now has pushed it over to the right. I just prefer that my code stay where it's at, and then my Explorer opens up on the left and nothing gets pushed.
Yeah, so you've often said that to me. I think you're the one that brought that to my attention. And at first I was like, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But I'm so used to it. Like, I open it, get what I need, and then close it back, and everything's fine. Like, I don't spend any more time on it.
Yeah.
And I prefer it on the left just because that's where I'm used to having it. I tried it on the right for a while, and it just didn't work for me. I'm sharing that image in Discord where the spacing just is funky, and I'm
That
sure there's
is a massive amount of spacing.
I'm sure there's a setting somewhere. I just don't know where it is. I
Well,
haven't.
yeah, there is a line spacing setting, but I don't think that's what that is. Maybe it
Right.
is. Yeah, there's a line spacing setting, but that's the only thing I could think that could be doing that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Oh, here, let me share Discord before it goes off. Discord, boom, right there for everybody watching the stream. This is what John was talking about, and this is our Discord channel for everyone else. Sevi, I use Nerdtree and Vim. like John said, I usually open it and get the file. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not like a game changer for me. If I went to prison and they said you have to have your Explorer on the left hand side, it wouldn't break me. I've been doing it for so long on the right hand side. And Nerd Tree as well. Like everything defaults to the left hand side. In Vim, PHP Storm, VS Code, everything defaults to the left hand side, which I don't understand why that became the default, but it has. I've just always then moved it to the right. It's just something I started doing, and so in Vim I move it to the right, and PHP Storm and VS Code, all my editors, it gets moved to the right. But it's not a big deal. There you go. I got Roger on my side. That's all I need.
So,
Roger.
I love PHP Storm and how customizable it is. Like you said, move things around. And I have mine dialed into my workflow. And as you know, my wife is doing the magazine editing.
Mm-hmm.
And I go out to her PHP Storm to do something. I'm like, wait, where's that at? I'm like looking all over. Where's the commit pane at? I'm like, oh, yeah, it's over here by default. Mine's down at the bottom. Except, again, change to the new UI, and now it's moved again. So I'm like, do I just leave it where it's at up there, or do I try and move it again? Because the UI is so much cleaner.
That's another thing. It's no secret that I do a lot of stuff, as I said, in the terminal. I use Vim a lot. I still haven't. I think for a little while I tried using the PHP Storm Git file manager, and it's just so slow to me. It's just so freaking slow. I remember thinking that, like, one of the last times I used it, I'm like, I can't believe how long this is taking. Just load. And
For what to load?
To do the commits, the adds and the commits and everything, and
really
the whole Git thing. Yeah. Now it's as far as GUIs go for Git management, I think I said all those words correctly. It seems really good. Like I haven't come across any GUI tools for Git, including GitHub's GUI tool, which a lot of people seem to love. That's my least favorite. PHP Storm does a really good job at that. And I've admitted this in the past, and I'll admit it today. If I have a merge conflict, I will usually reset the branch, go to PHP Storm, and pull it back in, because I love the merge resolution interface that pops up. And yeah, so I do use it for that one particular task, because it's really good. And I know Vim has it as well. It has the 3-pane merge resolution thing, but I still like the PHP Storm one. That's one of the rare cases where I prefer a GUI over the terminal.
See, so that's one. I use it for my Git merge conflicts all the time. I mean, PHP Storm. I use it for everything with Git. I drop the command line occasionally when I need to. I have no problem doing that. I use vimdiff all the time. Like anytime I'm comparing two files, vimdiff to the rescue. And I love just the flow of pulling stuff, obtaining, because that's what it's called, like obtaining from one side or the other, or pushing from one side or the other. So vimdiff is great. I haven't used the Git 3-pane diff that you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree with you. Vimdiff. There are other diffing tools. Does PHP Storm have a diffing tool?
Yep.
Oh,
I mean, that's what the merge conflict thing is. It's a diffing tool, but yeah, it does diffs as well.
Yeah, you're right. The I forgot about the Vim diff. I do use that. I do like that a lot. I use it less now that I understand Git. Like, it used to be, index.2021.php to index, and then I'll do a diff to see what I changed, and I don't have to do that so much.
Yeah, I do it. Just I have a CSV, and then I have two CSVs, and I need to figure out what's different in them. Like, just fire that up. I I have so many files scattered on my disk of 1 and 2 because I'll save 1 to 1, 1 to 2, vimdiff 1, 2, done, and then I forget to delete the file.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay, let's take a minute. And since it's just John and I, and we're just kind of talking through things, I'm going to go with the short version of our Honey Badger commercial. But I will say, we love Honey Badger. We got feedback, and we'll touch on that a little bit more when we come back. But we got feedback that somebody started using Honey Badger because they listen to the show and they love it. And they say they use it like every day. And so, Honey Badger, we do appreciate you sponsoring us for so long. And here's a quick clip. And I forgot to cue up the right seed because Tom's not here. There we go.
Thank you, Honey Badger.
Thank you, Honey Badger. I don't have it on my little Steam Deck, so I have to kind of manually. Oh, was there no sound? Oh, no sound. Oh no, that's
What
not
did
good.
you do?
All right. Well, let me. We really can't. We can't sell Honey Badger short. Let me run their other commercial. You guys tell me. Let me know if you don't hear any sound on this one.
Thank you.
When you're in production, 1,000 things can go wrong. You could deploy a bug in your latest release. Your background jobs can silently fail. Someone could trip over the network cable at your data center, and this all comes back to you. You need to know when bad things happen and be able to respond to them quickly. That's why we built Honey Badger. It's easy to install Honey Badger in your back-end applications and front-end JavaScript. It only takes a few minutes of configuration and you'll have monitoring done. That's because we hook into popular web frameworks, job systems, and the browser, so that when any of them crash, we can automatically let you know. We ping your application from our global fleet of servers to let you know about problems with connectivity, latency, and SSL certificates, and we monitor your recurring jobs to see if any of them stop recurring. When there's a problem, we alert your team using the tools you already use. We can create issues in GitHub, Jira, and other issue trackers, and send notifications via Slack, PagerDuty, or other channels. When you click through, you'll be taken to detailed information on the error. You'll see things like request parameters, headers, user information, and the backtrace. Click on any line of the backtrace to view it in GitHub, Bitbucket, or your local editor. When you fix a problem, just mark it resolved and follow up with the affected user. That's Honey Badger. We're the monitoring tool for web developers who'd rather be, well, developing.
Thank you, Honey Badger.
Thank you, Honey Badger. Thank
That's
you,
why
Discord, for saving
Thank you, Discord.
for saving us on that one.
I say it all the time. Discord is part of the show now. I don't remember. I forget what it was like doing it before Discord.
Speaking of, it was so much fun having SD PHP again last night, and then having a couple people that know us from Discord just kind of come and hang out and chat.
Did you see?
I'll call you out, NS Bucky. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying I was gonna call him out. NS Bucky. I thought that was a face reveal for NS Bucky. I didn't realize his face was on his Twitter profile. I must have just blocked that out of my memory bank. But yeah, that was fun. They were, and there's so many people showed up for where we were. Like it was an official meetup, but it was like a meet and greet, right? We weren't doing a presentation or anything. We're at a public restaurant. There were like crap load of people around us. It was
loud.
It was loud.
Their music is so loud.
And we saw people returned from over 2 years ago, the old SD PHP. We had people come back from there, and we had some new people show up. And it was fantastic. I enjoyed it.
I kind of like how we did it too, where you were at one end of the table and I was at the other, so we kind of got to mingle a little bit and just talk. It was really nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meetings again, like presentations. Matter of fact, I guess we need to schedule one for February.
Yep. We do.
All right.
We got to put that on our list to talk about tomorrow because we got to get it figure out who's going to present. I was trying to get a couple of the people last time. Like, all right, what are you going to present on next month?
That's how we used to do it. We used to just volunteer everybody.
The funny thing is, somebody showed up and he said his name, and I'm like, I know that name, like from the community. I know that name.
That was with
So
you.
So I asked him, and it was Neil Anders, and I'm like, I know he used to present, and he was a bigger name in the community. I just didn't know he was in San Diego, and he just moved there a couple weeks ago or a month ago. So it was really nice to have him come out and be a part of it and get to meet him. And I will twist his arm into giving a presentation at some point.
I didn't get his last name. What was it again?
Anders.
Anders.
I think that's what. I think it's Neil Anders.
I know him. I can't place him. Like, I kind of like you, I recognized him when I saw him. I'm like, man, I know I've seen this guy like at conferences or something before, but I didn't. If you know his Twitter handle, let me know. I'd like to start cyber stalking him.
I will find it. I'm sure we have it somewhere.
So I'm only going to mention it because it popped up on the Twitter feed. How we do anything we want to share with tech? We talk about it so much. It's like I don't know. I can't remember like what we've. I think everybody's up to speed, right? Nothing's really changed.
Well, I mean, I've got everyone's flights booked, hotels booked, except for us and our employees and a couple people that I'm waiting to book on purpose. But we are full steam ahead, like planning going on. So excited about it.
And it's like we're in a train heading to the side of a mountain. It's like it's just coming so fast all of a sudden.
It is. I'm going to get the time frame now, but I think it's 124 days to go. 124
days.
If you don't have your ticket, get it soon, please.
There is a lot to do in 124 days. Not looking forward to it.
There is. I gotta go look at some of our scheduling because I'm like, all right, now we're in the meat of it. I'm sure there's stuff we're supposed to be doing now, and I'm not thinking of it. So we need to get on that. We also need to get on the January issue of the magazine. We're down to us coming up with the title of it, the cover art. So we have our part to do and hopefully get it out either tomorrow or early next week.
Yeah, let's shoot for tomorrow, I guess. if you got the time, knock that out.
I never do. I mean, this week has been crazy. We're doing the the traditional 5-minute stand up at 8:00 in the morning every morning now. Every morning it's I didn't do what I said I was going to do yesterday, so I'm going to try and do it today.
Yeah.
I still haven't done it. Nope. Sorry.
Something came up. Something always comes up.
I'm all of a sudden getting inundated with support tickets of people hitting weird edge cases and these weird issues that take, support issues take so much time to diagnose and figure out what's going on. And I had the weirdest one over the past couple of days where, again, we're calling people and I recently introduced a new feature where in the past, you either recorded phone calls or you didn't. And if you did and you transferred the call to somebody else, it would record not only your conversation with them, but their conversation with the person you transferred it to. And, there's issues there because usually we're dealing with people that are like, hey, do you want to talk about X, Y, or Z? I have somebody on the phone waiting for you. They transfer it, and that's where the sales happen. So you're often sharing credit card numbers and whatnot, and they don't want that recorded. Makes
Personal
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Right. So I recently released a feature that you have the option when you transfer a call, it stops recording. It makes sense. But then I start getting people saying, I transferred the call and it kept recording. I'm like, what in the world is going on? And I'm going through logs, and the first few times, the logs from our phone system weren't being brought into the service that we're using for log tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the past, the servers just ran 24/7. So we always went there. We could go through the files, no big deal. Well, a few months ago, we finally felt comfortable shutting these things down at night and then spinning them back up in the morning. You save quite a bit of money, and everything's fresh, ready to go in the morning. So now, if we don't know about it in that same day, we've lost the logs. So I kept saying, we need the logs. We need to get them over into the service. And that finally happened, finally got it over there. So I'm digging into it, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I can see where they transfer the call, but they don't leave the call. And that's what stops the recording. So if you can picture, you call me, you transfer me to somebody else, you hit a button saying, all right, all three of us are talking right now. I'm done. I'm leaving.
Mm.
The issue turned out to be a very weird race condition where you are calling people. You're going through your list, and you get me transferred to somebody. You get the next person transferred. You get the next person transferred. So you may have 5 people talking to salespeople, which is fantastic. Everything worked perfect to that point. You go to transfer somebody else, and then one of those people hang up, which sends an event back to you to say, hey, the transfer agent hung up. And then the UI just says, I don't know what to do. I'm done. Like, they actually, not that. The UI says, oh, that agent hung up. You probably want to transfer them to somebody else. But the problem was, it was 4 transfer agents ago, not the person you are talking to now. So it was just this weird UI bug that is a race condition, and it's hard to figure out.
I love race conditions. It's funny that we still have them.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's as simple as now from the phone system to say, hey, a transfer agent hung up for call number, whatever. And then the UI responding, oh, that was for a call 5 calls ago. I'm going to ignore it.
Yeah.
The things I didn't have to worry about in the past, now I do.
Now you do. Now you do. Well, I got an interesting thing to share.
What is that?
Let me throw it over there. What am I doing this here? So Laravel, for Laravel 10, they have announced a bug hunt, a bug bounty. I don't know why I maybe is bounty a bad word now? They're calling it a bug hunt. I always thought they were bounties, but anyways, they're going to pay you to to find bugs, to find issues with Laravel 10.
But they're not paying you like if you find one. You're getting into a drawing, right?
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I didn't. I totally misrepresented that. Maybe that's why they're calling it a bug hunt and not a bug bounty, because it's a competition. Right? You submit the bug, and then I don't. Hush, my dog is like just wanting all sorts of attention right now. And then I guess they decide who wins. Do they show?
I don't know, but I'm frustrated that I understand new features not counting. That's fine. Refactoring, okay, refactoring is easy, but typos, it depends on what the typo is to me. Like, if you're helping me make my documentation better, getting rid of typos,
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's a bug. You're poorly representing yourself if you have poor grammar, poor spelling. That I think should count.
So what John's referring to is one of the rules are only quote unquote true bug fixes are accepted. Oh, wait a minute. Did I miss that? Do you have to actually fix the bug? You don't just identify it?
Right.
Wait.
It's you opening a PR
to fix a bug.
Right.
Oh, all right. All right, that makes more sense, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, what John was referring to is only. Do you hear my dog?
Yep, I do. Whimpering in the back.
What are you doing? What's wrong? What's wrong? Did Timmy fall down the well again? Yeah, fuck Timmy. I told him to stop playing around the well. Okay. So John was
We're
only
old.
true bug fixes are accepted. New features, refactoring, or typo fixes will not be counted. I agree with you. Typo fixes, maybe it's not the best fix, but I think it's a fix.
I think typo fixes in documentation, great. Typo fixes in code where it's like the code still works because it's correct everywhere. That makes sense. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Dog some treats here. See if she calms down. The crying. Even the dog wants me to stop podcasting. Please stop.
It's also weird that it's a random winner contest. It's not like if you find the worst bug, you win. Or I get it. Normally, bug fixes to open source is for the love of open source. You're not looking to get paid, so it's just an incentive to do it more for Laravel than anything else, I guess.
Where do you see the random part at?
I don't. Somebody said that in Discord. I have not read this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was unclear on, is how a winner is kind of crowned. And I'm not interested enough to actually look into it. I just thought it was kind of an interesting approach to a new release.
It's got to be down there somewhere, right? Like it'll be a random.
It says, yeah, the contest will
Oh
end.
no, it was very short, wasn't it?
First stable release. Any pull requests?
Oh, actually, it does. It does say accepted bug fixes will be labeled, and a random winner will be selected at the end of the contest. The last bullet point up there.
Oh, it's a bullet point. Oh yeah, random winner. Oh, that's why they don't want typos.
Right. Yeah. It's like
right.
I spent all this time fixing an actual bug, and somebody that fixed the word there from
I feel like
EIR to
yeah, I feel like they should have like levels. Like the $1,000 would go to like a severe bug, and then maybe have like a $50 Amazon gift card if you fixed something simple like a typo and you get picked. Like there's still going to be simple bugs, and then more advanced bugs.
Like your security bugs are the 1,000 level. Your like everything else, like any other bug, maybe at a $500 level, and then typos, like you said, $50-$100, like something. You're encouraging more participation because not everyone is going to say, "Oh, I know how to fix bugs," but people get in there and help with your documentation. They'll help little things like that.
Yeah, no reason to discount them and not use that.
Yep.
Yeah, and did I move that card over? I got so much going on here. I got a dog crying at me. I did not move the card over. There's the card. Here's the next thing we're going to talk about, and then we'll be done. This is Stack Overflow's 2022 survey, and got to be honest, nothing really surprises me, but the fact that PHP is so highly rated as far as web languages go. If you read down here, JavaScript. Yeah, of course, JavaScript. Every website has JavaScript. HTML. Duh, HTML. All right, HTML, every page. Then it goes to SQL, Python, TypeScript, which is still JavaScript. It's just like type hinted JavaScript. So that doesn't count. Java, which could be used for web. I'll give Java due, but that's a big enterprise thing. There's a lot of Java enterprise. Then you come down to Bash, C#, C++, and PHP. My point being, PHP is the first like web development language with some bite and muscle behind it, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And ranking pretty high as far as web development. And then of course it goes on. Where's Rust at? Ruby is still popping up here. Oh, there's Rust. Rust is just above Kotlin. Have you looked at Kotlin at all?
I have
we've
not.
talked about it.
I have not.
I keep meaning to look at that. I want to look at Rust, which that's going to be one of the talks I go to at Tech. I will have to find time.
You think you're going to a talk?
I have to find time for the Rust talk for sure.
I was thinking
I'm
about
curious.
it. I want to go to the talks, but I'm like, where is that line? Like, can we actually take time away? And obviously, we'll have to discuss that.
And not only I totally get what you're saying, because we've gone through this before. It's like when you have a moment of like calm and peace, it's you kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna go to my room and lay down for like 15 minutes, or you just want to like decompress. You don't want to slip into a talk or something.
Mhm.
I know exactly what you're saying. Like I say, I'm gonna try to get all these talks, and I'll get there, and probably won't. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Somebody's got to run the damn conference.
I went kind of related to this. I went paragliding a week or so ago and started talking to somebody else that had landed. And he was in IT for a long time. And
hold on. I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt you really fast.
Sure.
Let's go ahead. I can interrupt. It's my podcast. Let's I'm going to go and pull up the Patreon screen while you talk about the paragliding. Not that I'm discounting your paragliding, but I just think it's a good spot for the Patreon screen. So first off, thank you all our Patreon supporters. We really appreciate it. And
thank you.
These are our Patreon supporters. Okay, continue, John. I apologize.
No worries. So I go a couple very short flights. I land. I'm talking to this guy as I pack up, and we hike back across the road together. And we're talking, and he recently retired a year ago to become a professional paraglider pilot. And he said, basically, I'm between jobs.
How's the professional paragliding world? I mean, is that like something you can make money at?
No, I think he was joking. He's actually just retired, but he flies when he can. But anyway, we're talking, and he was in IT doing project management, or he had a much more sophisticated title because it wasn't really project management. But we're talking, he asked what I do, and I tell him about our business and the conference and everything. And he's like, is PHP still even used? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it runs something like 80% of the web, and yeah, it's still very relevant.
It's still very relevant.
And it's grown so much in the past decade. It's like, it's not the same language that the older people know PHP to be from the early 2000s to what it became post 2010, 2012. It's like matured so much.
And so, yeah. Yep. I agree.
No, he was not a Scrum Master. He was. And I really don't remember what his title was because I'm a terrible human being.
John's referring to our Discord again. That for the audio listeners, I always go back and listen to the audio podcast because I'm just compulsive like that. But I noticed like we will engage with Discord in like you have no idea what we're talking about on the audio podcast. So for the audio listeners in Discord, Aidwood says, was he a Scrum Master? I was asking John if he was a Scrum Master.
Yeah, at least in the video, if you're on YouTube, you see the Discord in the little stream there.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So that
hey, I did it.
You did it.
Called me out. You called me out on that.
You said the thing. You said the thing. John and I spend way too much time around each other, and so every now and then we'll start to bring to attention certain patterns, behaviors we have, and that was one I did for John. So he's very aware of it now. I noticed his that was funny phrase has really been cut back a lot over the last couple of months, which hurts me because that was like one of my little indicators
that it was time to wrap up.
move on. Like, yeah, okay, just that's funny. Just move on. My kid said mine is what do I say all the time? That's cute. I think that's cute or something like that. Or cute. Maybe it's just cute. I forget. I say it all the time when it's like I don't know what you want me to say. Yeah, it's a pretty it's cute. I don't know what to say.
So going back to Discord, Zombie Slayer says would be great if PHP could be used for more standalone apps. I would love to know what you mean because I've used it for some crazy standalone apps that weren't even web-based, like using was it N curses in the past, where I had this whole UI set up on a scanner, so people walking around a warehouse with a scanner, and it was all run by PHP and would have fields, and they could type in what they needed to type in on the scanner. They could then scan barcodes, and that's how we did inventory, picking, shipping.
I want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying correctly, because you're kind of blowing my mind here a little bit. And I do remember a brief moment in my life where there were these projects out to kind of help you put a GUI front end to PHP, but they never really took. If I understood what you just said to me, you created a GUI PHP app that you then put on a scanner, like it wasn't on even a laptop or anything?
Right. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So it was running N curses. N curses, it's kind of a library you can use, I think, in most languages. And it gives you a very shell type interface to have inputs and like showing displays. So yeah, I that's how I ran the scanners, was via PHP.
What? I mean, I guess it really wouldn't be that hard, and especially now in this world of Docker, you think that might like make a resurgence, but then again, who's creating like standalone apps as well? That's crazy. I don't think I've ever talked to anybody who wrote a standalone PHP app.
Yeah, Sevi is asking, can I elaborate? So I haven't, I'm going back. It was 2008 to 2010, 2012. So the package is currently not maintained. So it's probably dead, but just search PHP N curses.
All right, I'm going to do it right now. We're going to do it live. Do it live because we got time to kill.
The first thing that came up was a PECL package.
Is N curses one word?
Yeah.
PHP N curses manual. Oh, for anybody interested, yeah. This is a Vim, my Vim bindings in what you call it, my browser. So that's why that pops up. People ask. N curses terminal screen control.
N curses is a programming library providing an application programming interface that allows a programmer to write text-based user interfaces. That's from Wikipedia.
N curses is a free software emulation of curses. Is it in system? What's that? 5?
Oh, you found something better than I found. Yeah.
I mean, this is on PHP. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not on PHP documents. It just looks like it is. What is this? I don't know what this is. This is interesting. I'm curious what this is now. Watch this. Git edit. And we just take all this out. Let's go to this main domain. Let's see what happens. God, please don't be anything bad. It's just the doc. It's just the docs. I wonder if this was. I know you used to be able to host mirrors of the documents. So I wonder if that's what this is. Yeah, I gotta say, oh, BOS. Look at that. BOS, AIX. Wow, that's nuts, man. That is crazy. I got mad respect for you now, John. I gotta say, I never knew you had done something like that. I know you had talked about it, but I just assumed. I didn't realize it was a standalone app. I just thought you'd written the server component that managed all that stuff for you.
Yep.
That's nuts, man. Respect. All right. Well, where are we at? We're right at 10 o'clock. I wanted to get back. Not A Woods. Who said it? Roger in Discord, I think, asked why don't we? Here we go. Yeah, Roger. What about releasing the video version of the podcast on Spotify? I never have looked into that. I'm not really sure what that would get us. I mean, the it's on YouTube, so I'm not. What is there a
It's 'cause
benefit to that?
That's a good question. I can't think of one, but I'm also not a Spotify person.
Yeah, I
mean-
am, and I don't use it for podcasts.
We want you to subscribe on YouTube, please. Even if you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, we want you to watch us there because it helps the algorithm, blah blah blah. But hit the little register or subscribe button, the little bell icon,
It's
all
right
that good
here.
stuff.
Where is it? I don't know where it's at. It's right here. I don't know.
It doesn't work.
Just there.
Nope.
Over here.
Nope. Doesn't
No?
work that way.
Here?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
And while you're there, pop over to PHP Architect and subscribe there too. We're really trying to boost those numbers. Where John and I are that's going to be a focus in 2023. Not that we don't have enough stuff to focus on, but we really are going to try to put some cycles behind our YouTube channel.
And if you're not already signed up to go to the conference, let us know why. Come join us, hang out with us. It's going to be fun. I promise.
Give us your address. We'll send somebody over to quote unquote talk to you.
I was talking to a couple people last night, and I'm like, if you can't convince your boss, talk to us. Like, I'll do the dirty work. If you got a decent sized team, I'll call your boss and like, hey, you really need to send your team to PHP Tech, and here's why. Yada yada yada.
Now I'm going to warn you. There's a high probability you may get fired after that conversation John has. But hey, roll the dice. Live on the edge.
Bob told me that he was going to quit if you don't send him to PHP Tech.
That's right. Oh man, I want to get a tech now. Now that you bring that tech up, we covered this last week. Oh, that's not tech. What is that? That is terrible. Tech.phparch.com. Here we go. The part John was talking about. We even have a convince your boss template.
Email template.
Yeah, email template, or you can just read it and go face to face. I'm always down to the face to face conversation. Just this kind of gives you some good material, some good knowledge of PHP Tech, and even did a little price outline for you. It really, I mean, this is all the heavy lifting right here. I think you just do a copy and paste, and you're good to go.
You'll be there in a heartbeat.
That's right. Dude, I'm so excited about this. Look at it. All the talks are laid out.
I'm so excited about this.
I feel like we talk about this a lot, and we're going to continue to talk about this. But one thing I want to kind of bring to your attention again, we have the keynotes in the morning. We are going to, this is the first day, so there's a little difference here. But we have the keynote in the morning. We have 1, 2, 50-minute session. Then we have a 30-minute session right before lunch. So you're going to get 2 50-minute talks and then a 30-minute talk. And then this lunch, the first day, we're going to have a nice long 3-hour training, tutorial, deep dive, whatever you want to call, on 3 topics: PHP internals, testing in Laravel, or domain-driven design. And these are topics, it's like, you really don't want to try to consume in 30 minutes or 50 minutes. And we thought this was a kind of a nice change of pace. So excited about that. But that only happens the first day. After that, we go back to 50-minute talks in the afternoon. The first half of the afternoon, the first half of the day stays the same: 2:50, 1:30, and then lunch. 2:50, 1:30, then lunch. That's fun, man. I'm so pumped for this. It's gonna be so much fun. So many good speakers.
We still got so much to discuss, and
the
part that we're logistics. The part that we're hosting it, and like, I want to go to a lot of these talks, and I know I'm not going to be able to. it's sad but exciting still.
I think the stressful part for me, you haven't mentioned it so much, so I don't say anything about it. But the fact that it's not here, like we can't go to the spot and talk to the people and look at the rooms. I mean, we know what it looks like because we've been to so many techs before, and this is where tech had been for years, and then they started to move it around a little bit there near the end. So we know the facility is like a good facility for tech because it's in the hotel. The rooms are all nice and close to each other,
But
but
we
they're
also
not
haven't
too
been there in a
close.
long time.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk it up, John. You're going the wrong direction.
You know me.
Trying to give
I'm all about that
comfort.
yin and yang. Like,
Yeah, so excited about this. It's gonna be so much fun. So yeah, if you don't have your tickets for tech, let's get on that, people. Get on that. I will be personally disappointed in each and every one of you if I don't see you at tech. I ask again. Ask Bucky. Bucky came out to the meetup yesterday. He had a great time. We're not bad people. We're pretty nice.
although he
We
walked
had
up and
drinks.
he was like, "Maybe I don't want a beer." He's like, "I'll come back later." I
Good.
I was gonna say he was standing there, and I kept telling him like, "No, it's okay that you're here early. You can hang out with us. Like, we're just like sitting here. We might be working, but I'll still talk to you. Like,
Yeah.
you're more than welcome to hang out with us."
The funny thing, I I thought of, and we've done this before, but as I mentioned, public place, public restaurant, everybody sitting around drinking beer. You will start to see people like come and like start to circle the table. It was like, oh yeah, that guy's a nerd. Yeah, he's a coder. Yeah. No, have a seat, buddy. You're home now. Eventually, somebody would say, "Excuse me, are you guys?" "Yes, we're them. Have a seat."
Well, don't forget Neil Anders like kind of saved the day too, because he's like, I got an elephant in my car. We could just set it up. I'm like, that's a great idea. And Eric's like, you've got these two big ones. I got this big purple one, this big orange one. I could have brought them and just had them like on the table, and like people would be like, that's it.
This seems like it would have been a good idea. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, hindsight being 2020 would have been a great idea.
Actually, it probably would have been a terrible idea because like every kid in the place would be at our table trying to play with the elephant and ask their parents where we bought it and they want one. And yep. I think you were smarter than I give you credit for sometimes.
Nope, I disagree.
All right, you good, man? Are we wrapping this up? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that was a
We're
good time.
good.
Did everybody have a good time? I know it was just John and I. We didn't have Mr. Doom and Gloom with us, but I'm sure he'll be back next week. We haven't
Tom,
officially
we miss
fired
you.
him yet.
That's next week.
Yeah, exactly. we
We'll
like
do
to
it
get away
live.
from the holidays a little bit.
Yeah. And then you do it live on the air.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do this in 2023 because I feel like we go down some dark paths on the show sometimes, and I just like to end the show like everybody, you have meaning, right? Nobody's just floating around on this planet. You have meaning, and other people have meaning, and just be nice, be happy, try to enjoy yourself, try to enjoy the people you're with. I tell my kids all the time, don't leave the house mad. Always give a I love you and give us a kiss, because it's just life changes very quickly and it's not always for the better. So just be good people, be good to the people around you, try to lift other people up, and yeah, I think that's it. So that's going to do it for episode 318 of PHP Ugly. I'm Eric.
I'm John. Well, there's not that.
Keep it ugly.
Keep
And
it
I need
ugly.
to do the outro. Where's the outro? There we go. Oh, I still got. Here, watch it.
Listen,
No,
I'ma
Tom.
drop a
Tom's
freestyle you
gone.
can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric.
Poor
Yo,
John,
he's
he
never
still
on some
can't hear the
average shit.
music.
You know Eric,
I'll
he stays
dance
loud
like I
and
can.
passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with
Way
the
up.
clever song. And shout the
Not
host
working.
name Thomas, cause he's never wrong. And shout to John.
Thank you,
know that he's
Rogers.
smart and quiet,
Sevi.
unlike my freestyles.
Eric's
Cause
Spanish-speaking
the riot,
kid.
I'm about to do it like
We got
this, 'cause
the
the
title
people love me.
suggestions
Shouts out to
coming in. That's
PHP, the
fantastic.
ugly. It's
I like that.
called
2 is
ugly.
better than
It's not
none.
professional,
Two is
but
better
I'm
than-
about to
yeah,
come
that's
through
right.
and bless it with style. So let's do it when
Two
I'm
is better
spitting. I'm
than none.
perfume the
Were-
room. Yo, the segment of the show is
Were you
called
referencing
Doom and
our-
Gloom.
our-
That came
our
from
finally
Thomas.
article for
Yeah,
January?
Can't nobody go beyond this. I get
that
the
last
mic and then
little
I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah,
bit.
and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about
Oh, me? Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no. I've been trying to do that at the end of the shows. Yeah. No, I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, it is a good one. We should make that the free article.
Because we do that every month.
Exactly.
We got the magazine.
Nobody noticed.
We've had the magazine for a year and a half, and we've done it once.
I think we've done it a couple
Hey, shout
times,
out to
but
y'all.
yeah.
Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and
Harry
blessing to
Mack.
do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah.
Do you think he ever regrets doing that for us? Like, just be like, these freaking guys are still playing that song. Damn it.
I
The guy's
doubt
like
it, but
big time now, you know?
he's not doing the recordings anymore. I tried.
I know.
I-
Man,
I-
God, could you imagine getting him out in tech? That would have been bananas.
Well, I mean, he will do that, but I'm sure his fee is way too high.
yeah, I'm sure.
But
I would just love just to run into the guy at some point. I went to his concert. We talked about that, but that place was nuts. There was a
bet.
lot of like Harry Mack fans there. So many people, because after the show, if I remember correctly, he was at the front. He was at the exit,
really,
and signing stuff and just taking pictures and stuff. And Beck and I were just like, we couldn't even get to that exit. We were just like, we got to bounce. Like we ended up going out.
you're
the
not a
side
true
door.
fan. You're not a true fan.
I
You
guess
could have
I'm
talked.
not.
You could have talked to the guy and said, "Hey, we have a custom freestyle from you for PHP
You know,
Ugly."
the fact that he didn't recognize me in the crowd kind of pissed me off. I'll be completely honest with you. It's like, you should know who I am. I shouldn't have to say anything to you. God damn it.
You don't know how this game works. He's.
Oh,
You must not have
man.
tweeted enough beforehand for him to see it.
No, I feel like it. Oh, I got to figure out what's going on with my little show note script. I just remembered last week it was busted. It was busted. Here, I'll share with you guys and see if it's busted again. I actually need to clean it up, anyways. Where's I guess I can do that here. Let's see if show notes work here. So warp drive into the back computer. And I'm actually not even sure if it's running right now. Let's do a Lando up just to double check. Oh, no, Lando start. Lando start is what we want. Yeah, I don't think it was running. Okay, let's go, Lando. Lando's up and running. All right, let's clear that out. Not that there was anything there, just there's that. Yeah, that's another thing I do all the time. Arson Trello show notes. Okay, so I'm gonna output it to local. Let's just what did we talk about? We talked about what did we talk about? I need to pull up the Trello board again. We talked about Laravel Bug Hunt, Stack Overflow Developer Survey. Laravel Bug Hunt. Laravel Bug Hunt. I'm just bouncing around in my office. Of course, the show ends and my whiny dog leaves. I have no idea where the dog went. All right, Bug Hunt and what was it? Stack Overflow.
You have to type all of this in.
This is the kind of if you go look at the show notes, like the there's a little paragraph at the beginning that kind of talks about things that we talked about that show. I don't know what you call it, but developer. All right, let's see if this even works. It worked. Watch this. Watch this. I got my little Vim bindings here, so I do a little change word markdown. We go back, and boom. And now I got my markdown because YouTube hasn't gotten up to speed with markdown. So screw you, YouTube. All right, so that should be in storage now. Boom, boom. Not that. Nope, not that. Oh no, I didn't put the storage. I put the Dropbox. Yeah. That's what I did. Dropbox, not the show notes. We're gonna do. Oh yeah, it was show notes. Yeah. That's not right. Oh, that's very wrong. Oh, there's the error. Yeah. There's the error. Oh, that's right. That code. I actually need to change that. All right, I'm not gonna bore you guys with that. I need to update some code here because I'm using Lando, but we'll see if it works. All right. Yeah, man. Go into SSH. Hey. What is that path?
So, I'm sorry, Eric, Spanish speaking kid, but that title is way too long. I watched a video of some guy who built his YouTube channel to 4 million subscribers in like 3-4 months.
What?
Yeah. And his content, it just understood the YouTube algorithm and got people just engaged and staying there with the stupidest content. Like, I don't know if it was fake conversations or real conversations on Discord, but the whole point was he had another YouTube channel, so he had a catalyst. He had enough people to start the YouTube algorithm seeing the video to see the data that might make it interesting. So the whole thing is if you can get like 1,000 people to start interacting with your video, and he kept them small, like 3 to 5 minutes. But they were engaging enough to where people had to stay in tune with it. So there was no voiceover. It was just screenshots of Discord conversations or fake conversations with enough like sound effects. Like as he would show part of a conversation, it would be a ding or something, and then other sound effects. And it would happen at a speed where you're reading fine, and then it would speed up just enough where you couldn't read the whole thing, making you pause, rewind. So you're engaged. You have to watch, otherwise you're going to miss it. By you pausing and rewinding, you're watching more of the video, and you get to the end, and it was 3 to 5 minutes. And you're like, let's see what else he has. And you watch the next one and the next one. So where we have these hour-long videos where people might watch 10 minutes, he's got 3-minute videos where people may watch 5. So he's got more like time.
It's just Discord.
That's his shtick on that specific channel. But there's a humor aspect of how they're doing things, and then the video I watched kind of broke down what they believe, how they believed he did it, whether it was right or wrong, who knows. But then his video, his screenshots or his thumbnails were manufactured in a way where they weren't perfect. Like he would put something up with part of a conversation, then leave part of it like, oh, I need to know what's happening in that conversation. Or something be a little blurry so it would stand out from the rest of the thumbnails that were so highly polished on there. It was an interesting watch. I mean, I watched all of their video about this guy's rise.
Let me. I'm trying to remember.
Oh yeah, I am talking about Beluga.
Beluga. All right, I'm sharing.
What are you watching down there?
This is just the thing. What is it?
Oh, yeah,
BELUGA.
Yeah, but it was it's that person's channel.
Okay.
But it was the video I watched was about his channel, not on his channel.
I'm just very curious. Did you talk to Bucky at all? What's this?
Why would I talk to him?
Oh, this is cute. So it's a Karen. That's funny. So Bucky, I'm trying to remember. How would you spell?
Just kidding, Bucky. I love you.
Dootsy. Bucky, how do you spell? Bucky, are you still here? How do you spell Doocy? Doocy.
Well, I'm sure there's not an extra D in there. That's the deuce.
That's
Get rid of that
deuce,
extra D.
Doocy. No, how would you spell Doocy?
I'm afraid. I don't know. I have no clue what you're talking about.
I'm thinking of it as like dude, C, Doocy. Here we go, Doocy. Is this it? This is it. So Bucky turned me onto this. I'm kind of calling bullshit. I listened. Dudesy. I listened to it on the way home, and he just kept going on about this. Apparently, so this one guy you might recognize from Mad TV. I don't know who the other guy is. Apparently, these guys have a podcast that the whole podcast is managed and I don't know how you say it. An AI runs the entire podcast. Like the AI will tell them what to talk about and what to say, what to say or what topics to touch on. And I listened to it on the way home. I'm like, they're claiming that they've been doing this for a while. I mean, they're on a pretty they've got a lot of shows out. This isn't new. They're claiming that their AI is like so intelligent that it has all their backstory, so it will reference things from their history just because it knows it about them, and it'll put it together in a story. I don't know, man. I was listening to it. I'm like, this just seems fake, man. They were talking like the AI would kick in and says, "Hey, say something about a meaningful time as a child. Talk about a meaningful time you were as a child." I don't know, man. It just seemed a little on the stage side. I don't know if it was or not. I haven't seen a lot of them, but apparently produced. That's the whole thing I was looking for. Apparently the whole thing is produced by an AI. You got to give it. I would say give it a listen. That's everybody's homework for next week. Give Dudesy a listen and tell me what you think, and we'll take reports. Everybody can turn in their reports before the show, and we'll grade them. We'll grade them on the show. But yeah, Bucky was talking about this and got me interested. I've tried to listen to a couple. The problem is, I think you need to listen from the beginning because, like, there are all these
kind of like our shows.
Yeah, there's all these quirks in the show that I feel like had some sort of meaning, but I was missing out on it. Like I have no idea what they're talking about. Why is this a thing? And it's a little. It's a little weird. So yeah, check it out. Give it a listen. I'm gonna try to listen to the end of the show at some point. But
go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I was trying to remember the name of something. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was completely changing topics.
Yeah, that's fine.
So shortly after you left last night, we were upstairs at Pizza Port, and they come around. They're like, "Hey, you got to be out of here in 10 minutes. We close the upstairs at 9:00. Downstairs is open till 9:30."
Oh,
so
interesting.
So we keep talking for a little bit longer, and then I'm finally like, "All right, everybody, we got to head downstairs." We go down. a couple people leave and a few of us stay and just continue talking for a little bit longer. And then all of a sudden they come around like, hey, we're closed. You gotta, we try letting you stay as long. We let you stay as long as we could, but we got to clean and get out of here. So we end up leaving, and it was just great, just chatting, right?
Mhm.
The weird part of the story is not weird. I'm driving, I leave, I get a couple miles away, my phone lights up. John's backpack left behind. AirTag saved me. I was able to turn around, go back, get my backpack.
What is with you leaving your backpack? I mean, that's like no small. It's not like it's just a laptop you left out. You left your whole backpack.
We got downstairs. I just set it down next to me as we are talking, and just we're talking. You got to leave, and I'm trying to finish my conversation, and just stand up and walk away.
So does that tag fire every time you leave the house without your backpack?
No, because it knows like my home area, because I've got.
Oh, so you have that like geofence. So hey,
Yeah.
don't alert me if it's within this area.
Right. So
the other thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, got a handful of things tagged, and so no, I don't get notified all the time.
Yeah, I tried using those tags. We tried a couple different variations of it, and none of them were stuck for me. But you like the Apple Smart Tag?
I mean, they got the whole friggin' ecosystem just dialed in, so it's like it's so convenient and it works easily. So I do.
I was gonna say, Dudesy had me thinking about it. One of the only non-tech podcasts I listen to is Smartless. It has Jason Bateman on it. It has the guy from Will and Grace, I forget his name, and then the other guy from he was Batman Lego. So whatever. Here, Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett. These guys got together and started doing a podcast during the pandemic because what else are you going to do? Oh my God, they are so hysterical. It's the funniest podcast, and they have guests on. They'll typically have somebody on. You see Edward Norton, and they have some big names. I mean, they have big names on here all the time. And oh my God, it is hysterical. This is the cool thing about this is a podcast the wife and I will listen to. That means when we're driving in the car and like music isn't doing it. Sometimes music it's just not doing it. It's not. We have different tastes in music for one thing, and like all my music she doesn't like. All her music just sounds like it's the same song over and over again. We'll put on a podcast. So this is 9 times out of 10. This is the podcast we're putting on, and
really
I'm always cracking up at it. So check out Smartless if you guys haven't checked it out.
I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Well worth the download.
Oh, it's from Wondery.
What's that?
I think they do lots of different podcasts, but they do a lot of kids podcasts too. If it's what I'm thinking it is.
Okay. More from Wondery. I wonder if we can do that with PHP Arch. How do I do that more from?
I don't know.
I want to do that.
If Wondery is what I think it is. Yeah,
it looks like it's Killer Psychic. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Former FBI agent in criminal. This doesn't look like kid stuff, man.
No, but they like Wow in the World is a great kids podcast, and that is part of Wondery.
Yeah, it's like I see now. They have entertainment, they have history. Oh, I see. Yeah, they have all these different. So it's kind of like a all right.
They're just like a podcast producer type thing, and
yeah, I get it. That's cool. Yeah. Now I will say the one problem I have with Smartless, if you listen to it, they have a lot of commercials. They're long. I mean, these are like maybe not A-list celebrities, but these guys are pretty top tier celebrity. So I'm sure everybody and their mother wants to advertise with them. And man, they are so long. And it's an hour podcast. And I'm not exaggerating. It's an hour podcast, and 30 minutes of it is probably some sort of advertising.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How do we get that? I mean, we don't want more.
We don't. Yeah. Yeah. Better health. You're fine. Was it better health? Is that what it's called? If you better health, don't you worry about it. We're fine. Don't come sponsor us. Our people are only helping you like run. Whatever. Actually, I want them to sponsor Tech. Tech is the thing. We were having talk about that today. When we did Merge PHP. Oh, damn it. I meant to talk about Merge PHP when we were talking about SD PHP, which we didn't really spend enough time on that. But Merge PHP, I went to did a little Merge PHP meetup today, which
You
go to
went-
Merge
you made it to
PHP.
it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
it's just on YouTube. So they stream on YouTube now. I'm one of the organizers of it, but there's like a dozen organizers from all these different meetups around the country, and actually outside the country, Vancouver is also one of the people who are part of Merge PHP. So the organizers are on a Zoom call, and then everything else, the actual presentation gets streamed over YouTube. And then it just so happened today we also had an organizers meeting after the meetup. But yeah, if you want to, if you don't have a user group close to you, start one. But if you don't want to start one, check out Merge PHP.
Or do both.
Or do both.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. And that was one of the topics. Is like, Merge PHP isn't trying to replace user groups. It's just trying to give you a user group to go to, and you still go to your local user group.
Exactly.
So looking forward to that.
It's hard for us being on the West Coast where timing is off, plus, life for me.
The wife is in Discord complimenting me on my hat. She got the hat for me. So we were talking about hockey, and like hockey is one of the things. I play a lot of sports, and I like sports gear, hats and stuff. And hockey is one of the things that I like it, but I've never actually owned any like hockey, like anything, like a T-shirt or a hat. And she felt bad and bought me a hat. It took a lot for her to do it because she's a Penguins fan. So she did it for me. Oh my God! When this, I don't want to do it here because I don't want to ruin it for everybody. But after the show, when I stop streaming, remind me. I'm going to hook you up, John. Do you have your wife's Valentine's gift bought yet? Or
No.
do you know what you're going to get your wife Valentine's Day?
Of course I do.
Good.
We're on air.
Never mind. I won't even suggest it. You're good to go. Jackie, if you hear this, I'm not suggesting anything to John. What he comes up with is his own thing. But I'm going to hook you up, man. All right. That's going to be it. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us.
Thank you, everyone.
Super, super helpful.
I feel like half of this past half hour, 40 minutes since we stopped recording should have been part of the show. It was good.
I kind of feel that way, right? I can just. I mean, it was part of the show. It just won't be part of the audio podcast. Those suckers don't get the full show. Only the people who watch the YouTube. So, all right. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody.